The wedding invitations shimmered in their gold-embossed envelopes, each one a tiny beacon of the future I'd meticulously planned with Daniel. My hands trembled as I sealed the last one, a knot of anticipation and pure joy tightening in my chest. In 48 hours, I would become Mrs. Daniel Carter. Our vineyard wedding, bathed in golden hour light, surrounded by the scent of lavender and the murmur of our closest friends and family, was the culmination of a love story I'd only ever dreamed of. Daniel was kind, steady, the calm anchor to my sometimes chaotic sea. His mother, Eleanor, while initially reserved, had warmed to me over the year we'd been engaged, or so I'd naively believed. I pictured her smiling gently from the front row, proud of her son, welcoming me into the family. That fragile illusion shattered the moment my phone buzzed with a text from Daniel's sister, Chloe. "Clara, don't panic. But Mom just sent out an amended wedding party list. You need to see it. Now." Attached was a screenshot. My breath hitched, the world tilting on its axis. There, printed neatly beneath the names of my loyal bridesmaids, Sarah, who'd held my hair back after college parties, and Maya, who'd helped me pick out the dress, was a name that sent ice flooding my veins: Sophia Reynolds. My ex-girlfriend. As Maid of Honor. The title screamed at me in bold, italicized font. Maid of Honor. Sophia. The woman who had shattered my heart 5 years ago with a betrayal so profound it still echoed in my nightmares. The woman I hadn't spoken to in 3 years, not since I'd found her in our bed with my then business partner. The woman Daniel knew everything about, every painful detail. Why? Why would Eleanor do this? The question ricocheted around my skull, drowning out the soft jazz playing in the background. Daniel was at his bachelor party, unreachable. My first instinct was to run, to hide, to cancel the whole damn thing. But the image of Daniel's face, his trusting smile, when he slipped the ring onto my finger, anchored me. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about us. About the life we were building. I took a shuddering breath, the scent of the expensive stationery suddenly cloying. I needed answers. I needed to confront Eleanor. Grabbing my keys, I drove the familiar route to the Carters' sprawling suburban home, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. Every red light felt like an eternity, the silence in the car amplifying the roar of betrayal. Eleanor opened the door, her perfectly coiffed silver hair and immaculate linen dress a stark contrast to the storm raging inside me. "Clara, darling. So lovely to see you. Come to finalize the seating chart?" Her smile was bright, utterly devoid of any awareness of the grenade she'd just lobbed into my life. "Eleanor," I managed my voice tight. "We need to talk. Now." Her smile faltered slightly. "Of course, dear. Is everything all right? You look pale." I stepped inside, the cool air conditioning doing nothing to quell the heat of my fury. I thrust the phone towards her, the screenshot glaring. "Explain this. Explain why Sophia Reynolds is listed as my maid of honor." Eleanor's eyes scanned the screen, a flicker of something: defiance? Satisfaction? Crossing her features before being replaced by practiced concern. "Oh, Clara, don't look so distressed. It's simply a gesture of goodwill." "Goodwill?" My voice rose, incredulous. "Eleanor, Sophia is my ex. The woman who cheated on me, ruined my business, and left me broken. How is inviting her to stand beside me on my wedding day, in the most honored position, a gesture of goodwill?" She smoothed her skirt, avoiding my gaze. "Sophia and I have become acquainted. She's grown so much, Clara. Truly. She's been through therapy. She's deeply regretful. She expressed a sincere desire to be part of your special day, to show her support for your happiness with Daniel. I thought it would be a beautiful symbol of forgiveness and moving forward. A mature way to handle past hurts." The words hung in the air, absurd and poisonous. Forgiveness? From Eleanor? From Sophia? She wanted to dictate my forgiveness? "You discussed me with Sophia? You plotted this behind my back." The betrayal deepened, twisting like a knife. Eleanor finally met my eyes, her expression hardening slightly. "Clara, sometimes mothers see things more clearly. Daniel adores you, but he worries. Worries you haven't fully let go of the past, that Sophia's shadow still lingers. Bringing her here, publicly, in a position of honor, it proves you've moved on. It shows strength. It's for Daniel's peace of mind, really." The manipulation was breathtaking. Using Daniel's supposed worries as a weapon. forcing a confrontation under the guise of strength. Daniel knows I've moved on, I said, my voice dangerously low. He knows because I chose him. Because I built a new life with him. This isn't about his peace of mind, Eleanor. This is about you. About control. About reminding me that you hold the power in this family. Eleanor's lips thinned. That's unkind, Clara. And unnecessary. The decision is made. Sophia is thrilled. She's already ordered her dress. It would be terribly rude to uninvite her now. Think of the scandal. Scandal. The word landed like a slap. She cared more about appearances, about her social standing, than about the seismic earthquake she'd triggered in my life. I won't do it, I stated flatly. I will not walk down that aisle with Sophia Reynolds standing there. I will not have her witness my vows to Daniel. I will not let her poison this day. Eleanor's eyes narrowed. Clara, be reasonable. Don't make a scene. Don't ruin Daniel's wedding over ancient history. Ancient history. The laugh that escaped me was brittle, broken. Eleanor, you invited the person who represents the single most painful chapter of my life to be my maid of honor. This is an ancient history. This is a live grenade you just handed me on the eve of my wedding. I turned to leave, my heart hammering against my ribs. We're done here. I'll deal with this. Clara, wait. Eleanor called out, a note of panic finally entering her voice. Just think about Daniel. Think about how this will look to him, to everyone. I paused at the door, my hand on the knob. I didn't turn around. I am thinking about Daniel, I said, my voice thick with unshed tears and simmering rage. And I'm thinking about the woman he loves. The woman you just tried to destroy. I walked out, slamming the door behind me, the sound echoing the finality in my heart. The drive home was a blur. The beautiful wedding dress hanging in my closet felt like a costume for a play I no longer wanted to star in. The carefully chosen flowers seemed to mock me. How could I stand there, radiating happiness, knowing Sophia was mere feet away, Eleanor's smug gaze fixed upon us? How could Daniel not see the venom in this plan? Or did he? A cold dread seeped in. What if he knew? What if Eleanor discussed it with him? What if he agreed? The thought was paralyzing. I needed to talk to him. Needed to hear his voice. Needed the reassurance only he could give. I called his phone. It went straight to voicemail. Hey, it's Daniel. Probably having too much fun. Leave a message. The cheerful tone felt like a knife twist. I didn't leave one. What could I possibly say? Hey, honey, just checking in before our big day. By the way, your mom invited my ex-girlfriend, the one who destroyed me, to be my maid of honor. Surprise. Call me. The hours crawled by. Night fell, deep and heavy. I sat in the dark living room, staring at the unopened wedding programs stacked neatly on the coffee table. The silence was broken only by the frantic beating of my own heart. Around midnight, headlights swept across the window. Daniel was home. I heard the front door open, his familiar footsteps, the rustle of his jacket. He walked into the living room, his face lit with a tired but happy smile, the faint scent of whiskey and cigars clinging to him. Hey, future Mrs. Carter, he murmured, coming to sit beside me on the couch, wrapping an arm around my shoulders. Couldn't sleep? Me either. Too excited. He leaned in to kiss me. I pulled back slightly. His smile faltered. Clara? What's wrong? You look upset. The words tumbled out then, a torrent of pain and fury. I told him everything. Chloe's text, the screenshot, the confrontation with Eleanor, her manipulation, her cruelty. I watched his face as I spoke, watched the confusion morph into disbelief, then into dawning horror, and finally, into a cold, hard anger I'd never seen in him before. When I finished, the room was silent except for my ragged breathing. Daniel stared straight ahead, his jaw clenched so tight a muscle ticked in his cheek. He didn't speak for a long moment. When he finally turned to me, his eyes were dark, burning with a protective fury that simultaneously terrified and comforted me. She did what? His voice was low, dangerously quiet. She invited Sophia to be your maid of honor? He stood up abruptly, running a hand through his hair, pacing the small space like a caged animal. And she used me as an excuse? Said it was for my peace of mind? That's insane. That's vicious. He stopped pacing and knelt in front of me, taking my cold hands in his. Clara, look at me. I swear to you, I had no idea. None. This is the first I'm hearing of it. My mother, she overstepped. She didn't just overstep, she detonated a nuclear bomb under our wedding. The relief was so profound it almost buckled my knees. He didn't know. He hadn't betrayed me too. What do we do, Daniel? I whispered, tears finally spilling over. The wedding is in 2 days. The invitations are sent. Sophia, she's coming. Eleanor won't back down. Daniel's grip on my hands tightened. We don't back down either. This is our day, Clara. Ours. Not Eleanor's. Not Sophia's. Ours. He stood up, pulling me with him, his resolve radiating off him in waves. First thing tomorrow, I call my mother. Not to discuss. To inform. Sophia is not the maid of honor. She is not in the wedding party. Period. If Eleanor wants to make a scene, let her. We'll handle it. Together. He paused, his eyes intense. But Clara, there's something else. We need to decide about Sophia herself. Do we uninvite her completely? The question hung heavy. Uninviting her would cause a massive scene, exactly what Eleanor claimed to fear. But letting her come, even as a guest, felt like inviting a viper into the sanctuary. I don't want her there, Daniel. I admitted, my voice small. The thought of her seeing me marry you, it makes me sick. He nodded slowly. Okay, then she's not invited. I'll handle it. I'll call her myself. Eleanor can't dictate our guest list. He pulled me close, wrapping his arms around me, his chin resting on my head. I am so sorry, Clara. So sorry my mother put you through this. It's unforgivable. But I promise you this. On our wedding day, the only people standing with us will be the ones who love us, who support us, who want nothing but our happiness. Sophia will not be there. Eleanor will behave, or she will leave. This day is about us. About our love. About the future we're building. No one, not even my mother, gets to poison that. His words were a balm, a shield against the chaos. The fear didn't vanish, but it was joined by a fierce, defiant hope. He was right. This was our story. The next 2 days were a whirlwind of controlled chaos. Daniel's call to Eleanor was epic. I heard his raised voice from the other room, the raw anger and disappointment. There were tears, accusations, but ultimately, Daniel held firm. Sophia was disinvited via a blunt, unemotional email from Daniel. Eleanor, after a day of icy silence and pointed barbs, finally, grudgingly, conceded defeat, though her smile at the rehearsal dinner was tight and brittle. The wedding day dawned, impossibly bright and beautiful. As I stood in the sun-dappled vineyard, the scent of lavender thick in the air, Sarah and Maya adjusting my veil, a profound sense of peace settled over me. The storm had passed. The battle was fought, and we had won. When the music started, and I saw Daniel waiting for me at the end of the aisle, his eyes shining with pure, unadulterated love and pride, everything else fell away. There was no Eleanor, no Sophia, no betrayal. There was only him. Only us. I walked towards him, my heart full, ready to begin the rest of my life, knowing that together, we could weather any storm, face any enemy, and build a love strong enough to withstand even the most malicious mother-in-law. The vows we spoke that day weren't just promises to each other. They were a declaration of independence, a testament to the power of choosing your own path, your own happiness, your own family, against all odds. And as Daniel kissed me, his arms strong around me, the applause of our true loved ones washing over us, I knew this was just the beginning of our greatest adventure. The shadow of the past was gone, banished by the brilliant, undeniable light of our future.